most mainstream types of music, guitar solos come from a set of fingering patterns called the pentatonic scales. The first box position of the pentatonic scale was covered in depth in my beginner video. In that video, I covered one position of the scale and demonstrated how to play most of the common types of licks in that box pattern. In this section, we'll look more closely at how to fit that scale together with the most common chord progressions so that you can create and improvise solos for virtually every type of mainstream music. We'll cover how to play the scales in every key, how to play them across every area of the fretboard, and we'll take a look at some more advanced techniques and interesting patterns that can be used as building blocks for solos. This is the material that every lead guitarist in every mainstream type of music learns intimately. If you want to understand the fundamental sounds in every kind of rock, blues, funk, heavy metal, country, and popular lead guitar styles, you should learn and ingrain the patterns covered in this section. Commit them to memory and practice them until you can run every example without hesitation. You'll find more similar examples of their use in virtually every lead guitar solo you listen to and learn. If you want to become a capable lead guitarist, you need to not only understand the material in this section, you need to be able to play the patterns on the guitar by habit and without much conscious thought. There are two basic positions of the pentatonic scale that allow you to cover the entire fretboard of the guitar. In this video, we'll cover the sliding versions of the scale, which build upon the two basic box patterns and use small extension fingerings to cover the rest of the fretboard. There are several other ways to learn the pentatonic scales, but this is by far the most common and useful approach. To get started, we'll play all the scales in the key of A. The fingerings look like this. To play an A minor pentatonic scale, put your pointer finger on the 5th fret and play this fingering pattern. Pinky, pointer on the 1st string. On the 2nd string, do the same. Pinky, pointer. On the next 3 strings, use your 3rd finger and pointer. And then on the 6th string, again, use your pinky and pointer. Again, that's this. Pinky pointer, 3rd pointer, 3rd pointer, 3rd pointer. That's the first box position of the A minor pentatonic scale. To increase the note range of the first pentatonic box and to be able to move up and down the fretboard a bit, you can add these notes to the fingering. Put your pointer finger where your pinky was on the 1st string and play this extension fingering. 3rd finger, pointer finger, 3rd finger, pointer finger. Many guitarists add one more note to that extension pattern here on the 3rd string at the 9th fret. It just gives you access to some additional range and some common licks. You can add that same kind of extension pattern to the bottom part of the pentatonic scale. So if you play to the scale, put your ring finger where your pointer finger is on the 6th string and play this extension fingering. Pointer finger, 3rd finger, pointer finger, 3rd finger. And you get this run of pointer, 3rd, pointer, 3rd, and then the box pattern, and then this run on top. And that little additional note. The box pattern, together with the extension fingerings, is called the sliding version of the pentatonic scale because you typically slide a finger up or down the string to switch between the box pattern and each extension. Look at some of the ways you'll see the scale played up and down. Often you'll see the 3rd finger slide up from the extension into the box pattern. Often also, on the 3rd string, you'll see a finger slid up from the box pattern. Use your middle finger and slide up into that extra note, then you can play the extension finger. Often also, you'll see on the 1st string and the 2nd string, the pinky finger will slide up into the extension finger. So you get things like this. The second position box pattern works the same way as the first position, only it has a root note on the 5th string. If you put your pointer finger on an A note on the 5th string, that's at the 5th string, 12th fret, and play this fingering pattern, you're playing another A minor pentatonic scale. On the 12th fret, the fingering pattern looks like this. Pinky pointer on the 1st string, pinky middle, third finger pointer, third finger pointer, and then pinky pointer, pinky pointer, and the next 2 strings. Again, pinky pointer, pinky middle, third pointer, On the second string, a lot of players will switch from the pinky finger to the third finger, and do another third finger, pointer finger on that string. So you get this. Pointer, third pointer, third pointer, third pointer. That scale has all the same notes as the first pentatonic box pattern, just arranged in a higher register of the fretboard. You can add similar fingering extensions to this scale pattern too. Put your pointer finger where your pinky is on the first string, and play this extension fingering, the same one we played before. Third pointer, third pointer. You can also add the same kind of extension pattern to the bottom part of the pentatonic scale. Put your pointer finger put your ring finger where your pointer finger was on the sixth string, and play the same extension fingering. Many guitarists add one more string to that extension pattern here on the fourth string. So you get this. Which just give you access to some additional range and common licks. Look at some of the ways that you'll see that scale played up and down. Starting here. The point of learning the pentatonic scales is that it provides notes that sound correct over virtually every type of common chord progression. Knowing where to put the fingering patterns on the guitar will allow you to play solos with notes that sound right over virtually any kind of rhythm backing pattern. For most popular types of chord progressions, there are two places you can put the scale fingerings. In order to find the right positions, you have to figure out the key of the song you're soloing against. Typically, the first and last chord of a chord progression is the key chord. So if a song begins and ends on an A chord, for example, then the song is most likely in A. For most mainstream guitar styles, you can play the pentatonic scale in two different positions for any given progression. If you take the first pentatonic box pattern and put your pointer finger on the root note on the sixth string, you're playing what's called the minor pentatonic scale in that key. Do this. Try finding an A note on the sixth string, fifth fret. Put your pointer finger there and play the first pentatonic box pattern. That pattern's called the A minor pentatonic scale. The minor pentatonic scale is the heart and soul of virtually every type of rock, blues, and heavy guitar solo. It has a real bluesy sound. Listen to it against this chord progression. The chord progression's in the key of A, using A7, D7, and E7 chords, the same way we did the blues patterns and the rock patterns in the other portion of this video.